Well, howdy, fellers. So, good morning. I'm gonna go over a couple things real quick. The camper's probably gonna have to sit for a little bit today. This weekend, I got some car repair I gotta do for one. That's not the favorite thing to do, but I got car repair to do, and then I gotta meet a guy at DMV about a motorcycle sale. I guess he's paranoid. But anyways, I don't know if I can get to the camper this weekend, but I wanted to talk about something that I'm a big grill person and smoker person. I've been really heavily involved with that for a long time. And I've always tried different tricks and recipes and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, talk about these really quick. This is the Masterbuilt little portable stainless steel tabletop grill, little propane. Normally I love, charcoal, but that's kind of a pain to work with, and you gotta really know what you're doing with that. The Traeger is my go-to for everything. Trevor, as Frankie likes to call it. The Trevor is awesome because it's easy to use. You just throw in some pellets, good flavor, but it does leave a lot of things lacking with like a little bit of char, and fat smoke is better than wood smoke. In case you don't know the difference, look it up a little bit, do some digging, and the bottom line is that when you go to a fancy restaurant, that really good smell you smell a lot of times is fat smoke. The fat is burning on something, and that fat is what gives you the best flavors, period. So I've always struggled to find the best flavors with that. I've tried different things. Some things work better than others. Like on the Traeger, a good tip is you save your old oil, your drippings, and then you take that, put it in a bottle, and then squirt it on the pan, especially if the pan is dry. That gives a lot more fat smoke. It's actually a cheat code, really. If you're doing chicken, if your Traeger platter is dry, there's no, you want some fat drippings on your plate. Anyways, with the little propane grills here, this Weber here, okay, back to this real quick. So I've always loved these little stainless ones. They look cool. I've gone through, I think this is my third one. Never been impressed with the cook quality. Never been happy with the flare-ups. Just never been my favorite thing, okay? This little Weber, this is the Go Anywhere propane. They have a propane and they have the Charcoalio. The Charcoalio is not what we're talking about today. This is their gas grill, and as you can see, it's properly maintained. You need the crispies. You need all these crispies. Obviously, I'll warm it up and scrub it with a scrubby when I'm ready to cook, but you want to keep these pretty oily. You don't want to use soap and water on them. But the reason I'm bringing this up is, I started using this thing, and the first 6 or 7 times I used it, I was getting amazing results. Everything we cooked on this thing was just fantastic. I don't care if we're talking about steaks, pork chops, chicken. Chicken has been amazing. Chicken legs, chicken thighs. It's all been fan-freaking-tastic. So at first I thought it was like the rubs and the marinades and just the whole camping experience. We're out in the forest or whatever. And then I realized recently, last couple days, it's the design. The design in this thing is unique. You have the older Go Anywheres that just have a regular grill and deflector, just like this one. You've got just a regular heat deflector diffuser and just your old-fashioned grill grate. On this, though, they changed the design a few years ago, and they went with this wavy plate. If you can see it, the plate has all these little waves. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, and there is no heat deflector underneath this. So that, I cleaned this before I last used it, by the way. But that shows you how much we've been using it lately. I've been using it at home lately because it's just that the flavors are so good. But back to the plate. There's no diffuser. You only have this plate, and you have this wavy pattern going on. And what's happening, what I've realized, I finally realized this the other day, is that you have all these little valleys for fat to sit in, and that flame is directly hitting this plate with all those little ridges full of fat. So the fat is burning and creating that fat smoke right underneath the meat. The meat is right there, right there. So because the meat is so close, the fat is burning right next to it. You know, normally when you get some char on some chicken or some thighs or some wings or whatever, the char, it can be too much. It can get overpowering. With this, it's really hard to get too much char. I mean, you can, but when you get too much char, it doesn't come out like dry, crusty char. Now, if you crank this up on high, that's a mistake. I always run this on low pretty much no matter what I'm cooking. Low is plenty hot to do everything, because that flame is tickling this thing directly. So now with steaks, I'll go up to medium, try to get a little bit of sear, but you know, you got to turn it down and then put the cover on, let the cover immerse it with all that fatty smoke. And you don't see a lot of smoke coming out of these grates. You'll see just a little wisp, but that fat smoke is just getting in there. It's infusing the meat, and it's just fantastic. So I was thinking about buying a second one of these. So I was going to run 2 of these little bad boys, these little bad girls and boys. But I'm like, that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, there's got to be some answer out there. There's got to be something in the webiverse, right? Out there in the webiverse, there should be something. So I remember this old video from this guy, Malcolm Reed, How to Barbecue Right. And he had this grill grate from this company called, Grill Grate. That's literally the name of the company. So on Amazon, I found it, Grill Grate, and it's a 3-piece thing, but the dimensions are weird. It's like 15 by 15, and I found a cheaper version, some Chinese knockoff that's literally the perfect size for this. And that's what I've been wanting to find for this. I've tried different things, but none of them have ever, worked out. I've tried these wavy stainless steel plates. I've tried different things like that before in the past, because I knew there had to be some kind of connection a long time ago, and my brain wasn't putting it all the way together, but I knew that this was working, and I tried to do the thin plates and stuff, the wavy plates on this, and I wasn't sure what was going on. But anyways, long story short, I found a Chinese one for $80 compared to $110 for the Grill Grate version. So it happens to be the perfect dimension, just barely oversized for this here, but it's going to fit here just perfect. I'll do a tiny trim, like an 1/8 of an inch trim, and then it should slide right in. We're going to take out this grill grate, take out the diffuser plate, try it. And now, unfortunately, I'm not going to have it for a week. So we're still going to be using this thing this weekend. But I'm hoping this is going to get me what I want, but unfortunately, I can't find anything where the height of the little waves is as shallow as this is. And I think that's the key, is that you have these shallow, very shallow little ripples. And these little shallow little ripples are what's really making it happen. So when this plate comes in, they stick up about, I want to say about 1/2 inch tall. So I don't think we're going to get the same effect. I think, unfortunately, it's going to be another failure. And for $85, I'm not going to be happy about that. But even if it's half as good as this, because I've tried other methods and none of them seem to work. If it's half as good as this, then this could be viable, because I need more room to cook more meat. I mean, I only cook for 3 people, me, Ma, and Kim. But if I can get at least enough meat in here where, because this is smaller for sure, but not by much. But if I can get enough meat in here where I only need to do 1 batch instead of normally with this I got to do 2 batches, then that's going to save me a lot of time, because normally by the time the second batch is done on this thing, I'm so plowed I don't even remember eating dinner. So it's like there's no point in that. So I need to just find something where I can cook everything in 1 batch, and it's kind of hard to see, but that is bigger than that. Not by a whole lot, but it should be enough. And in theory here, and I may have to use the diffuser to get more even heat. I don't know. we'll find out. We'll see, but I'm really excited. I want to try that and see if we can get better flavor. So, but maybe it's something to do with the combination of the way this lid really seals in the smoke, because you only have these little tiny little vents on the sides. There's nothing out the top, so it keeps that smoke level down to at least this line, you know, so this whole top fills up with smoke, and at least this section is full of smoke. Whereas this has a lot more ventilation. You know, you've got the big slit out the back. So maybe it's not going to work. Maybe it's not going to help at all. But we're going to try it. So when I get it, I'll make another video, show you what it looks like, and give an update on what it tastes like. Now, does that have anything to do with camper build? No. No, but it has something to do with camping, right? So I think that ought to count, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it count? Well, I hope so. So, thanks for watching.